Money Radio, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. It's time to talk real estate with Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Laura, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sinclair.
We're going to be updating folks on the Mortgage Debt Relief Act, but first let me let them know that they can contact you at TalkRealEstateAZ.com. That's your website.
Yes, it is.
And you have a phone number, 480-624-2705.
That's my direct line.
You answer it directly.
Yes, I do.
480-624-2705. Laura Bramnick is a lawyer, and she is also a real estate agent. She's also a consumer advocate. She can help folks in residential and commercial real estate. Laura holds an active Arizona real estate license. She's been a real estate investor over the years. She's a certified instructor with the Arizona Department of Real Estate. And she is an attorney specializing in real estate. It's a combination, it's a twofer.
It's a twofer.
And it doesn't cost more necessarily.
That's correct.
That's great. So you can hire a regular real estate agent, or you can hire a real estate agent who is an attorney.
Correct.
That can help a lot.
It can prevent a lot of problems.
You've helped a lot of people with problem real estate over the years.
Yes.
And for a while there, Arizona was just going through a lot of distressed property.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And there's still been some short sales and foreclosures. We've talked about something called the Mortgage Debt Relief Act, which expired, I believe, at the beginning of 2014, right?
Yeah, it was actually originally called the 2007 Mortgage Debt Relief Act. And it was originally set to expire in 2010, and then they extended it to 2012. Then they extended it, I'm talking about Congress, to January 1 of 2014. So if you had done a short sale or had a foreclosure or had settled a debt with your lender and had forgiven debt, after January 1 of 2014, you no longer had the benefit of a possible tax exemption. And as you and I talked about before, the debt forgiveness could be quite large. You know, people were underwater by large amounts.
Sure.
So you're talking about not only a big tax bill, but an increase in your tax rate. And so it's like you had like a double whammy. Now,
so for example, somebody had a $300,000 mortgage, the property was sold in a short sale for $200,000, there might be a $100,000 tax liability.
yes, and that increased your income by $100,000.
Pushing you into a higher bracket.
Yes, so you were paying more taxes all the way around, so to speak. And anyway, people were very worried because
Sure.
there's still properties being let go. I just saw something in the paper the other day that said that foreclosures were actually up in December. And
It's certainly down from the peaks
yes,
that we saw,
yes,
but they haven't gone away.
they have not gone away. And people are still negotiating settlements on debt, second mortgages, and those types of things. So the 1099-C is still alive and well.
And is probably being mailed out even as we speak.
Yes. So the good news for some people is that Congress passed a law called the Tax Increase Prevention Act of 2014, and it was done at the end of December.
I think that was part of that Cromnibus bill.
Yes. And in that bill, it says that the tax exemption for mortgage debt forgiveness, if you've done a short sale or foreclosure or settled debt, that if you qualified under that original law, meaning it was a primary residence and the money that was forgiven was used to buy, build, or improve the property. Now, if you've done it in 2014, you can still qualify for that tax exemption.
Kind of a retroactive thing.
Yeah, it wasn't technically an extension of the law, but in reality, that's how it's going to play out.
But there are probably still going to be some people who are receiving those 1099-Cs and they're going, uh-oh, what does this mean?
Yeah, and so make sure you talk to someone, your accountant, or look in
Or
terms
call you.
of, or call me,
Sure.
to figure out, could you qualify for this exemption? And if so, then you fill out the form. There's literally a checkbox, and you go from there. So the main thing is it has to have been your primary residence for 2 of the last 5 years, and the money has to have been used to buy, build, or improve the property.
If a 1099-C comes in the mail and you're not quite sure what it means, you need to call Laura Bramnick, 480-624-2705, 480-624-2705. And if it deals with other properties, or you are still trying to avoid a short sale or a foreclosure, there's still a lot of property in the Phoenix area underwater.
Yes, and even if you don't qualify for this exclusion, because a lot of our loans are non-recourse loans, don't assume you have to pay the taxes without talking to someone like me or to a CPA.
And certainly, before it ever gets to the point where you're just walking away from the property, talk to somebody and understand the implications of what is happening.
Yes.
That's just crucial. And there may be some things that you can do to help along the way. I mean, I've been saying this for a long time. You really do work as not just a real estate agent, not just an attorney, but as a consumer advocate.
Yes, that's my favorite part of the practice of law.
And it's one of the things that sets you apart.
Thank you.
Laura Bramnick at talkrealestateaz.com, 480-624-2705. 480-624-2705. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, Sinclair.